I guess we have to go back to basics. There's a whole lot of reasons why somebody might spend some time on the street. Not everybody that we see has been a streetie for years and years and years. In fact, quite a few people that we see really aren't streeties. They're just without accommodation. They might have spent a couple of nights on the streets, down at McDonald's, at a bus stop or something like that. So something's happened. Some emergency has come around and they're just not able to manage that at the moment. Many have had successful tenancies before. They might have lost their job, they might have been released from prison, they might have been released from hospital for that matter. Come back, find that the flat's gone, all their flatmates are gone, or they've just had to walk away from a tenancy. So clearly one of the first things we do is make sure that our staff do a good assessment, work out what their financial situation is, what their history of previous accommodation might be, and then match them to, we've got a good list of all sorts of places around the city and further out. Could be a Housing New Zealand property, could be a boarding house, could be even finding a flatmate for somebody. But we're probably going to have to get them back on a benefit. They don't have a benefit. Some might in fact even be able to get to work, but for that they might need a little bit of money for a bus fare or some good clothing or something like that, so we'll match them with that. But the first thing really is to find out what's going on, what's the history there.
The distribution centre is involved in all of our appeals and programs that the Auckland City Mission runs. For instance, our 1 can, 2 can appeal, which operates at the beginning of winter, the distribution centre staff are involved with collecting all of the cans that either the schools or the companies collect on our behalf, and then bringing them back here to the distribution centre for addition to our food parcels. There are 2 main areas here at the distribution centre. The first is the food area. In this area we receive all of the donated goods, both from individuals and corporates, and use them to pack our own food parcels for services that the mission provides, but also provide food for the food links, which are 70 other food banks throughout the top of the North Island. Then in the other part of the distribution centre upstairs we receive all of the donated goods and clothing, and we sort these and recycle them both within our new beginning stores throughout Auckland, but also for use for our families receiving our crisis care service. So here at the distribution centre we open at 7 o'clock, and at the beginning of each day the drivers are all assigned different runs, so they go out and about all around Auckland collecting the donated food, the donated goods and the donated clothing, and bring it back here to be sorted and recycled. Other staff here are involved in actual sorting, either packing food parcels, sorting clothing, or putting together the parcels that go out to our shops for sale. And then we have other staff obviously involved in admin type activities and running our Trade Me, our online store.
I decided to work at the City Mission because I was working with teenage mums up on Pro, and God told me to come down here, live down here and volunteer at the City Mission. So working as a volunteer, I just love getting alongside the workers, and we can do anything in a day. Things come up like food is delivered, meals are delivered, I have to make meals, find clothes for homeless, bedding. Anything can happen in a day and you just work through it.
I remember meeting one chap who was walking the dog in Myers Park, and he was sleeping under a big tree with an old-time rough sleeper, been around for years. He'd been, I guess his relationship had broken down, he just didn't know what to do, where to go. Streeties were looking after him, which was nice, but that was just making do. Now he's been in a job for 6 odd years. He's not back with his partner, but he has good access to his children and plays a really active role in their life. Now I think that's a highlight, because he's somebody who only spent perhaps 2-3 weeks on the streets. A few things needed to happen before he became well enough to work, but he is working and he's held down a job for all that period of time. And I reckon that's a highlight. I guess you got to remember that nobody plans on being homeless. I mean, I guess you guys are, going to go to university and get your degree and might do your OE and then come back and plan on spending, a couple of years on the streets. I mean, that's silly. It doesn't happen. There's very few people I know of who plan on being homeless.